Welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining us for ICS Theatre's production of Anton Chekhov, The Seduction. We hope you're all staying healthy and safe. We at ICS Theatre are excited to be able to perform our craft online. I'm Barkha Kishnani, and I am very grateful to have directed this play with these talented actors, even though we weren't able to meet in person a single time. In ICS Theatre's 6th year of existence, we were looking forward to putting on productions at the ICS Theatre Fest for all our audiences. But for now, online productions will have to do. Instead of having one day of programming, the ICS Theatre Fest will be an ongoing event through the end of 2020. The second annual ICS Theatre Fest started on Friday, June 12th, with an award presentation for the Emerging Artist Playwriting Contest, a collaboration that was started in 2019 with the East Brunswick Public Schools. Through this pandemic lockdown, we've been trying to figure out how to continue our craft online. ICS Theatre emerged with an online play reading workshop program for the community. These workshops are being conducted by directors in the US, along with directors abroad, and they've been quite a success. Please follow us on Facebook and keep an eye out for our July schedule that will be coming out very shortly. We thank Dr. Fali Richmond and Mr. Mahesh Datani for their continued support for ICS Theatre. In the coming months, we plan to bring you different types of genres in plays in English and in Hindi. I would like to take a moment to thank everyone who has helped to put today's program together: the cast, the crew, the publicity team, and most of all you, our audience, without whose support we wouldn't be here. Grant funding has been provided by the Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders through a grant award from the Middlesex County Cultural and Arts Trust Fund. We will have a Q&A session right after and would encourage you to participate. We would love to hear your questions and comments, so please do stay back a few minutes for that. Anton Chekhov's The Seduction is a devious and delightful short story which certainly will bring a smile to your face. And now, without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy The Seduction.
The Seduction. Lights up on the narrator. He's in jacket, hat, and his pince-nez. There is a small public garden, a tree, and a bench. He looks as if waiting for someone. Then out to the audience.
Peter Semyonich was the greatest seducer of other men's wives that I've ever met. He was successful with all women for that matter, but there was a special challenge to beautiful women married to prominent, rich, successful men. I could never do him justice. Let him tell you in his own words.
He removes his glasses, puts them in his pocket, clears his throat, assumes a more debonair posture, and becomes Peter Semyonich.
If I may say so myself, I am the greatest seducer of other men's wives that I've ever met. I say this not boastfully, but as a matter of record. The staggering figures speak for themselves. For those men interested in playing this highly satisfying but often dangerous game, I urge you to take out pen and paper and take notes. I'm going to explain my methods. In defense, married women may do likewise, but it will do them little good if they happen to be the chosen victim. My methods have never failed. Now then, there are 3 vital characteristics needed. They are patience, more patience, and still more patience. Those who do not have the strength to wait and persist, I urge you to take up bicycling, rowing perhaps. Seducing isn't for you. In order to seduce a man's wife, you must, I repeat, you must stay as far away from her as possible. Pay her practically no attention at all. Ignore her if you must. We will get to her through her husband. You are about to witness a practical demonstration, for as it happens, I am madly and deeply in love this week. My heart pounds with excitement knowing that she will pass through this garden in a few moments with her husband, Every fiber of my being tells me to throw my arms around her and embrace her with all the passion in my heart. But observe how a master works. I shall be cool, almost to the point of freezing. My heart of hearts and spouse approaches.
He turns the other way as the husband and his lovely younger bride approach, taking an afternoon stroll in the park. She carries with her a bunch of fresh flowers.
Ah, Peter Semyonich. Fancy meeting you here.
Doesn't look at wife.
My dear Nikolai, how good to see you. You're looking well. Notice how I'm not looking at her.
Thank you. And you gay devil, you're always looking well. Excuse me, have you met my wife, Irina? Of course you have. You sat next to her at dinner at the Vesnovs. Irina, I don't know what this charmer said to you at dinner, but I must warn you that he is a scoundrel, a notorious bachelor, and an exceptional swordsman. That's the best I can say for you, Peter.
You exaggerate, Nikki. Madame, good to see you again.
He doffs his hat, but barely looks at her. She nods back, then turns and looks at the flowers.
We were just taking a stroll. If you're not too busy, why don't you walk with us?
That's very kind of you, Nikolai. But as a matter of fact, I am riveted to this spot. A new romance has just entered my life, and my legs are like pillars of granite. Until she's out of my sight, I will be incapable of movement. Too much, do you think? As I said, be patient.
Fantastic. You never cease to amaze me. Pretty, I suppose?
Suppose magnificent, suppose glorious, and you will suppose correctly.
Any complications?
As usual. Husband, I'm afraid my cause looks hopeless.
Nonsense. I'm placing my money on you, Peter, and you know I never bet unless I'm sure of winning. Well, we're off. Good hunting, my boy. Good hunting.
Madame. Beautifully done, don't you think? I am sometimes awed by the work of a true professional. Did you notice? Our eyes barely met. We exchanged hardly a word, and yet, how much she knows of me already. I'm a popular bachelor, a man in love, always titillating to romantic women, a gifted sportsman, a nice contrast to her sedentary husband. And this is most important, a dangerous man with the ladies. Quite frankly, at this point, she's disgusted by me. A, because I'm a braggart and a scoundrel. B, because I'm shamelessly frank as to my intentions. And C, because she thinks she's not the one I'm interested in. Forgive me if I'm slightly overcome by my own deviousness. By the way, are you getting all this down? It gets tricky from here on in. Now then, next step, hypnosis. Not hypnosis with your eyes, but with the poison of your tongue, much like a venomous snake moving in for the kill. And what's more, the best channel is the husband himself. Witness as I accidentally run into him at the club one day.
At the club, the husband is sitting reading a newspaper. Peter takes up a chair and sits next to him. The husband looks up and notices him.
Peter, you're looking glum. I take it your pursuit isn't going well?
Is it that obvious? I am doomed, Nikki. I haven't seen her since I last met you and your dear wife. I sleep little, I eat less. I've had all my shirt collars tucked in half an inch. Ah, Nikki, why do I waste my valuable youth chasing women I can never truly call my own? How I envy you.
Me? What's there about me that you envy?
Why? Your marriage, of course. A charming woman, your wife, let me tell you.
Really? What's there about her that fascinates you so?
Her grace, her quiet charm, everything. But mostly it's the way she looks at you, Nikki. Oh, if only someone would look at me like that, with such adoring, loving eyes. It must send quivers through your body.
Quivers? No, not really.
A tingle, perhaps? Don't tell me you don't tingle when she looks at you.
Well, of course, by all means, I tingle all the time.
She's an ideal woman, Nikki. Believe that from a lonely bachelor and be glad fate gave you a wife like that.
Perhaps fate will be as kind to you.
That's what I'm counting on. Good heavens, I am late for my doctor's appointment.
What's he treating you for?
Melancholia. Please say hello to your extraordinary wife, but I urge you not to repeat our conversation. It might embarrass her fragile sensitivities. Ah, where, oh, where is the woman for me?
Out of earshot of the husband, he stops and turns.
I know where. The question is, how soon will she be mine? There is still work to be done, but not by me. That task falls on my aid and accomplice. Oh, by the way, I saw Peter Semyonich today.
Oh, by the way, I saw Peter Semyonich today.
Who?
Peter Semyonich, the bachelor. We met him in the gardens last week. That attractive fellow, you remember.
I remember what a loathsome man he is.
You may not think so when you hear what he had to say about you.
Nothing that braggart had to say would interest me.
He spoke most enthusiastically about you. He was enraptured by your grace, your quiet charm, and he seemed to feel that you were capable of loving a man in some extraordinary way. There was something about your eyes and the way you looked so adoringly. He certainly had a lot to say about you. He went on and on. Well, good night, my dear.
Oh, good night. What else? What else did he have to say about me?
Peter?
Whatever that loathsome man's name is, what else did Peter Semyonich say about me?
Well, that's more or less it, what I told you.
But you said he went on and on.
He did.
But you stopped. If he went on and on, don't stop. Either go on and on, or let's go to bed.
Well, he said how much he envied me, how much he wanted someone to look at him the way you look at me.
How does he know how I look at you?
Well, that day in the gardens, he must have been looking at you when you were looking at me. It sent a tingle to my whole body.
The way I looked at you?
Exactly, my precious.
But you were looking at him, so you couldn't have seen how I was looking at you. As a matter of fact, I was looking at the flowers because he made me so nervous the way he kept avoiding looking at me. You must have tingled for some other reason.
It's getting rather confusing. The point is, he found you fascinating. I thought it would please you.
Well, it doesn't. I would rather you didn't tell me such stories. Are you planning to see him again soon?
Tomorrow for lunch.
But I would rather not be discussed over lunch. Tell him that. And at dinner time, you can tell me what he said. Good night, Nikki.
Good night, my angel.
Good night, my love. I am spellbound by my own powers. I succeeded in not only piquing her interest, but causing her heart to flutter at the mention of my name. The same man she called loathsome not 2 minutes ago. All this was accomplished, mind you, while I was at home taking a pine-scented bath. Luncheon the next day was not only nourishing, but also productive.
At lunch with the husband.
By the way, old man, I ran into Nekrasov yesterday. The artist? It seems he's been commissioned by some wealthy prince to paint the head of a typical Russian beauty. He asked me to look out for a model for him. I said I knew just the woman, but I didn't dare ask her myself. What do you think of asking your wife?
Asking my wife what?
To be the model, of course. That lovely head of hers. It would be a damn shame if that exquisite face missed the chance to become immortalized for all the world.
For all the world? Really? I see what you mean.
Well, why don't you discuss it with her then?
Good idea. I'll discuss it with her.
In the bedroom, they are preparing for bed.
Well, I said I would discuss it with you. What do you think?
I think it's nonsense. How did he put it to you? I mean, did he actually say a typical Russian beauty?
Precisely. And that it would be a damn shame if that exquisite face missed the chance to become immortalized for all the world. That's exactly what he said.
He gets carried away by his own voice. Those exact words, you didn't leave anything out.
Oh yes, that lovely face. I left out that lovely face. He said that a number of times, I think.
He does go on and on, doesn't he? How many times did he say it? Once? Twice? What?
Let me think. It's hard to remember.
It's not important. But in the future, I wish you would write these things down. Good night, Nikki.
Good night, my dear.
Have you seen me near her? Have you heard me speak to her? Has any correspondence passed between us? No, my dear pupils. And yet she hangs on every word uttered by her husband. Awesome, isn't it? We apply this treatment from 2 to 3 weeks. Her resistance is weakening, weakening, weakening.
Back in the bedroom, as usual, preparing for bed.
I think his mind is elsewhere, if you ask me. On some woman, from the looks of him.
What woman? Has he mentioned any woman in particular?
Oh no, he's too discreet for that. He'll protect her good name at any cost. Instead, he speaks of you all day. Poor fool. I'm beginning to feel sorry for him.
It's really none of our concern. Nikki, did you ask him for dinner tomorrow?
He's busy.
The day after then?
Busy.
Next week? Next month? When? Doesn't the man eat?
Well, he says he's involved on a very important project and it'll be months before he can see us. Although he did say that with patience and persistence, good things will come to him. Oh, by the way, he thinks you should be on the stage.
The stage? Me? On the stage? Why in heaven's name?
Well, he said, just a moment, I don't want to misquote him.
No, take your time. Try to get it as accurately as possible.
Ah, yes. He said, with such an attractive appearance, such intelligence, sensitiveness, it's a sin for her to be just a housewife.
Oh dear, he said that.
And that ordinary demands don't exist for such women.
Nikki, I don't think I want to hear anymore.
Natures like that should not be bound by time and space.
Nikki, I implore you, please just stop.
And then he says, if I weren't so busy, I'd take her away from you.
He said that?
Yes, right here.
What did you say, Nikki? It's important I know what you said to him then.
Well, I said, take her then. I'm not going to fight a duel over her.
Nikki, you mustn't discuss me with him anymore. I beg you not to mention my name to him ever again.
But I don't, my love. He's the one who always brings up the subject. He actually accused me of not understanding you. He shouted at me, she's an exceptional creature, strong, seeking a way out. If I were Turgenev, I would put her in a novel. The Passionate Angel, I would call it. The man is weird. Definitely weird.
The wife hangs her head disconsolately.
Anyway, good night, my dear.
Good night, Nikki.
He's delivering my love letters, sealing them with kisses, and calls me weird? I ask you. So, let's see what we've got so far. The poor woman is definitely consumed with a passion to meet me. She's sure I'm the only man who truly understands her. A yawning, disinterested husband transmits my remarks, but it is my voice she hears, my words that sing in her heart. The sweet poison is doing its work. I am relentless. There is no room for mercy in the seducing business. Observe. how deftly the final stroke is administered. For the faint-hearted, I urge you, look away.
In the bedroom, they are eternally preparing for bed.
No, Nikki, I don't want to hear. Not another word from him, nothing.
But exactly, that's what he said. He begged me to tell you nothing. He said he knew because of your sweet, sympathetic nature, you would worry to hear of someone else's distress.
He's in distress?
Worse, he's gloomy, morose, morbid, in the depths of despair.
Oh no, but why? What's the matter with him?
Loneliness. He says he has no relatives, no true friends, not a soul who understands him.
But doesn't he know that we understand him completely? Doesn't he know how much we appreciate and commune with him daily? Doesn't he know that we yearn to be with him, you and I?
I tried to make that clear. I again urged him to come home to dinner with me. But he said he can't face people. He is so depressed, he can't stay home. He paces in the public garden where we met him every night.
What time?
Between 8 and 9. Oh, by the way, we're invited to the Boskovics tomorrow. Is 8 o'clock all right for you?
No, I'm busy. I'm meeting Aunt Sophia tomorrow. She's ill. I'll be there at 9. Or a little after. Good night, Nikki.
Good night, my dear.
In the public gardens, Peter is strolling, waiting for his prey.
Please, no applause. I couldn't have done it alone. I share that honor with my good friend and collaborator, her husband. He wooed her so successfully that there is no carriage fast enough for her to be in my arms. She ran all the way. Now for the conclusion. You will understand if I ask you to busy yourselves with your programs or such. These next few moments are private, and I am, after all, a gentleman. Observe.
The wife, wearing a cloak, rushes into the garden and then stops, breathless.
My dear, my sweet dear angel, at last I can speak the words that I've
No, not a word, not a sound, please. I couldn't bear it. Not until you've heard what's in my heart.
He takes a moment to compose herself.
For weeks now, I've been in torment. You've used my husband as a clever and devious device to arouse my passions, which I freely admit have been lying dormant these past 7 years. Whether you're sincere or not, you have awakened in me desires and longings I never dreamt were possible. You appeal to my vanity and I succumb. You bestir my thoughts of untold pleasures and I weaken. You attack my every vulnerability. And I surrender. I am here, Peter Semyonich, if you want me.
He starts to reach for her, but she holds up a hand for him to stop.
But let me add this. I love my husband dearly. He's not a passionate man, nor even remotely romantic. Our life together reaches neither the heights of ecstasy nor the depths of anguish. We have an even marriage, moderate and comfortable. And in accepting this condition and the full measure of his devoted love, I have been happy. I come to you now knowing that once you take me in your arms, my marriage and my life with Nikki will be destroyed for all time. I am too weak and too selfish to make this choice. I rely on your strength of character. The option is yours, my dear Peter. Whichever one you choose will make me both miserable and eternally grateful. I beg of you not to use me as an amusement. Although, even with that knowledge, I would not refuse you. I am yours to do as you will, Peter Semyonich. If you want me, open your arms now and I will come to you. If you love me, turn your back and I will leave and never see or speak to you again. The choice, my dearest, sweetest love of my life, is yours. I await your decision.
Peter looks at her, then turns his hand and looks full face at the audience. He wants some advice, but none is coming. He turns back to the wife. He starts to raise his arms for her, but they will not budge. It is as though they weighed 10 tons each. He struggles again with no results. He makes one final effort and then quickly changes his mind and turns his back on her.
God bless you, Peter Semyonich. I wish life brings you the happiness you have just brought to me.
She turns and runs off. Peter then turns out to the audience, then reaches into his pocket, puts on his glasses, and becomes the narrator again, a little older and with none of the dash and charm of Peter.
Peter Semyonich, the former seducer of other men's wives, from that day on turned his attentions to single, unmarried women only. Until one day, the perfect girl came along, and the confirmed bachelor married at last. He is today a completely happy man, except possibly on those occasions when some dashing young officer tells him how attractive he finds his lovely young wife.
Lights off on the narrator. The end.
Thank you. That was wonderful. Thank you, everyone. I'd like the cast to introduce themselves. We'll start with Peter Semyonich.
Thank you, Barkha. Firstly, sincere thanks to everyone who's joined today. I know it's been, we've broadcasted on various channels, so hopefully you did get a chance to attend. My name is Murtuza Saber. I played Peter Semyonich. I am a resident of Chesterfield, New Jersey. I reside here with my wife and two boys. I'm typically an IT consultant in the pharmaceutical industry. And my passion for the performing arts dates back almost 20 years, ever since I started doing radio here in New Jersey. But in all these years, I have done a movie on 9/11. I have also hosted many events. And this is a new platform, although relatively new for me, ICS Theatre. I am thoroughly enjoying it. So thank you once again.
Thank you. Irina.
Hi, everyone. My name is Paquita Sengupta. I live in New Jersey, Highland Park, New Jersey, with my husband. I'm new to ICS Theatre, although if my parents are watching, this is the first time they're watching, so I just wanted to say hi, and of course I get it from them, they're big into theatre. But I live in New Jersey. My daytime job, I work for an energy company in New Jersey, and I love performing arts. I dab a little bit in music and the piano, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity that ICS Theatre has provided to all new theatre enthusiasts. Thank you.
Thank you. Nikolai.
Hi, thanks to all for joining. I hope you enjoyed the show, all of you. My name is Oren Shom. I also live in New Jersey, Rutherford, New Jersey. My day job is as an IT consultant in the systems and network admin field. I've been doing theater and short films and skits on YouTube for a while. I've been with ICS Theatre for about a year now. We've been practicing for shows, and then unfortunately the pandemic hit, and so this is the best medium right now to keep polishing our creative juices, basically. And it's been a great fun, and I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you. Stage directions by Sanjay.
Yeah. Hi. Thanks for watching, and I would like to thank ICS Theatre for giving me an opportunity to get involved with theatre 5 years back. I am loving the experience.
Thank you. And Maha, our crew.
Hi, I'm Maha Srinivasan, living in East Brunswick, New Jersey. I've been part of ICS for 3 to 4 years and ICS Theatre for a year, and I do the behind the scenes with Barkha. Thank you.
Thank you. Sanjay, would you take over for the question and answer if there are any?
Yeah, so at least everyone on Zoom, if you would like to ask a question of the cast or would like to comment on the play, you can raise your hand or in the Q&A section, ask your question, and then I can either unmute you or read out your question.
I can see some questions coming up. Can you read them?
Okay, there is a question from Meera. How long did it take for this to put it together?
A good 2 weeks every day and then some brush up. So it did take us, the cast worked very hard. We met every single day and it started as a reading and then it took on and this is their final product. So about 2.5 weeks.
We have a question on Facebook. This is from Lakshmi Chari. Thanks for watching our performance and appreciating it. The question is, this is a new platform and medium for performing arts. What challenges did you all encounter?
Well, I'll ask one of the actors to answer that. How about you, Swagata?
So I think the biggest challenge here is, when you're acting on the stage, you have your co-actors and you kind of feed off of that energy. So I think Zoom and the online platform doesn't provide that kind of platform, but we met every day and we had a few props to kind of help us build that energy. So I think being distant away was difficult to kind of get those emotions, but hopefully we overcome those challenges and we were able to do well.
Yep, we have one more question from Paquita Sengupta. When is your next play?
Very soon, in less than a month. And just so that you know that if you would like to ask a question, we can unmute you. So just raise your hand and you can come on live if there is anything. But Swagata, do you want to say something to that?
Oh, no, Mom, in 3 weeks, I think, at least, look at the schedule on ICS Theatre.
We have a question on Facebook from Julie. I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name. Julie Dunham. You did a great job with Russian names and text. Did any of you have any prior experience with Chekhov?
I will let Sanjay answer that.
Yes, as ICS Theatre, we have had experience with Chekhov. We are fond of Chekhov stories, like the short stories. We find it really rooted in reality. It does have relevance even today, and yes, we have worked with other Chekhov stories too. We've done 2 full-length plays, Chakte Chekhov and Chekhov Express in the past. Those were directed by Mahesh Datani.
I think there are some more questions on Facebook, if I'm correct. I'm getting texts over here. So do you have any, Maha?
Yes, there is another question from Lakshmi Chari. How do we audition for the next play?
Right now, we are not auditioning because of the condition that, that surround us. But when we do start auditions, we will advertise it on Facebook. So if you follow us on Facebook, you will know when auditions are happening and the criteria that goes with it. And we would love to have you on board.
There's another question on our Zoom chat from Raj. What inspired you to such a lovely show? Is that right, Raj, or do you want to ask the question?
Sorry, say that again, Maha.
Does Raj want to speak up because he's on Zoom, or
Oh,
I hope I
okay.
got the
Would you?
question right.
Okay. Well, to answer that, what inspired us was Chekhov stories, because we have done these in the past. In the past 3 years, we've done 2 full-fledged Chekhov story plays directed by Mr. Mahesh Dattani. And we enjoy doing them. They are like, rooted and have been successful. So that is our inspiration. Just we worked with Chekhov and find that it works for us.
Yep. There is a question from Sonia. Why this topic?
Sorry, why this topic?
Topic.
It is fun and entertaining, and just one of the stories that we would have liked to have done earlier on, but we did like 8 stories the first time, 7 stories the second time, and couldn't do a few that we had shortlisted. So this was on the books, and we had a play reading one evening where, like I said, ICS Theatre has started the play reading workshop program during the pandemic. And this was one of the plays that these 3 characters had read, and they read it very well. So we took it to the next level, and here we are.
There's a question on Facebook from Shweta Trivedi. Is this play written a little longer and reduced to 30 minutes to fit this platform? The second question is, or was this short story from Chekhov?
This was the short story. So his stories are usually short. The ones that are, he has a few that are full-fledged ones, but this was one of the short stories.
There's a go ahead, Sanjay. Sorry.
There's a question from Ravina Malani. How long have you all been in theatre?
Well, let's start with Murtaza. We'll just go around. I've been doing this for almost 14 years now. So.
Well, I mean, as I said earlier, ICS theatre is relatively new to me as such. But I have done performances on other medium, like I've done a movie in the past as well. But I have done, theatre back in India. But that was many years ago. So, for me, it is relatively new.
Sorry, Swagata.
I'm new to ICS, to theatre as such, and ICS, of course. I think for about 3 months now, I've been doing play readings with ICS. Back in India, during high school and college, I did some, but in the US, this is my first real virtual performance.
Oren?
Yeah, I've done theater before back in Mumbai, India. I've done theater for about 4 or 5 years maybe, and been with ICS for about a year now. And yeah, so it's just been great fun.
Sanjay?
Yeah, this is my 6th year with ICS and with theatre. I had never been on stage before till ICS Theatre gave me that opportunity.
And Maha?
I'm new to theatre.
Okay.
There's a question from Preeti Bhagya on Zoom chat. When you direct a play, especially for Zoom audience, are there any challenges you face in particular?
Well, yes, the main challenge is movement and the camera. You can't really move too much. We are in our next plays, we are trying our hand at that, and maybe different camera angles. But that is the biggest challenge on online plays, doing this online, that the movement is very restricted. So.
Yep. There's a question by Orev Carvalho. Do you also audition from around the globe or only from USA?
Well, if somebody wants to, send in their audition request, but if it is a live performance, the person has to be here for rehearsals. But if it is on Zoom, join our play readings, get introduced, and you never know where we might go.
There's one more question from Raj. Do you have any plans to create a show in different languages?
Well, not that we have a plan. We have been doing plays in English and Hindi, haven't yet explored the idea of different languages, but you never know. We just might.
There is a question on Facebook from Ananya, and sorry, just give me a minute. Barkha, any interesting bits about directing a play in this format?
Any interesting, sorry, what?
Interesting bits or any interesting, instances when you had while directing this play in this format?
The most interesting thing I think happened yesterday is just a short little incident, and I will let Peter answer that.
Oh, thank you, Barkha, for putting me on the spot. So yeah, I mean, it made for a good blooper actually. We've been rehearsing this, as Barkha said, regularly, at least for the last 2 weeks. And I've been joking with Barkha saying that, what, ye kahani mein kabhi twist hi nahi hota. It's always the same, all the time she picks her husband. So yeah, obviously, that's what the act is and that's what the play is. So we've been rehearsing that way. And then yesterday, I don't know, these guys decided to pull some sort of a prank on me. So we are in the last scene, and Swagata takes or Irina takes a completely different track, and yeah. So I was in the middle of the act, and she tells me, "Oh, Peter, I want to go away with you." So that I thought was extremely interesting. Obviously, we all cracked up, but it took a while for me to register as to where she was going, because I was totally expecting something else.
Yeah, she had a little bag packed and everything. So,
yeah, she was ready.
Well, that was fun.
It was.
Yeah.
There's a question from an anonymous attendee. How does theater help you in your professional life?
I will let Sanjay, you answer that.
Oh yeah, I have learned a lot from theater, and I do incorporate it in my personal and professional life. It teaches you about teamwork. It teaches you about not dropping the ball. It teaches about working with others and getting to an end goal. So yeah, theater does teach you a lot that you could use in your personal and professional life.
We have a question from Ananya, from Subagura. How different is the experience in terms of actor satisfaction from that of on stage?
Oren, do you want to answer that?
Sure. There's no comparison to stage, obviously, with with a live audience, the energy and the direct, instant, spontaneous interaction with the audience, performing live. I mean, that's the ultimate high, of course. But considering the situation right now, this is it's the best we can do right now, and it's good. I mean, you've still got a live audience, but obviously it's not the stage. So it's somewhere in between. It's like I think I said this previously too. It's somewhere between film acting and stage acting. It's like where you're when you shut off the camera, you go off character, and you turn on the camera again, you're in character again, which is the same thing here. But when you're on stage, you're in character full time as long as you're on stage. So it is definitely, considering the situation right now. I mean, it's not stage, but it's definitely good.
We have another question from Ananya Gupta on Facebook. Any blooper clips that you plan to share, considering this is now a recorded digital medium? I know Murtaza just spoke to it, but I'll let Barkha.
Well, no, I don't think we will be sharing the bloopers. Maybe 3 years or 4 years down the road, as part of our archives, we might, but not right now.
Yeah. There's a question from Preeti Bhagia. I don't know if you answered this already. When you direct a play, especially for Zoom audience, are there any challenges you face in particular?
Yeah, we did answer.
We did that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see any more questions
Yeah, I
coming
don't
in.
see any
We are
more.
good.
Yep.
Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today. And thank you very much to the cast of The Seduction and Maha, and also Sri Alathur, who had helped us in our previous production of The Seduction. So thank you, everybody, and we shall see you soon.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.